I'm just waiting on a goddamn call. Like, can you imagine I'm waiting to buy a $15,000 watch? What has the world come to? Good morning, everybody, and today we have an amazing video planned. So today I want to go over my watch collection as of April 5th, 2024. Now I want to do this so I can document it in the future when I start getting some really ridiculous watches, right? So today we got about 9 watches to go over, so we'll kind of give you the backstory on each watch, starting from the first watch I ever bought to the most recent watch that I ever bought. So to kick off the list, we got this Citizen Eco Drive. Now, this was actually the first watch that I ever bought in my life. I bought this watch actually when I was about 12 years old, I want to say. I saved up a lot of money and I bought this watch. It was about like $300, I want to say, $400. But the cool thing about this watch is that it actually is charged by solar panels. So there's actually a solar panel inside the watch. I don't know if you guys can really tell. The way it works is it charges off of artificial light. So if I just kind of hold it up to the light here, then it will basically recharge for me and work again, because right now it is severely dead. It's just been sitting in the case in the basement, and unfortunately I haven't really got that much use out of it just recently. So then that brings us to this one here. This was the second watch that I bought, also a Citizen, there we go, Citizen Eco Drive as well. I'm not 100% sure about the name on this one, but this was actually a special edition Citizen watch. The Naismith trophy, the watch of the Naismith. I don't know. I'm not really good at pronouncing names, to be quite honest with you, so that could be completely butchered. But the thing that I liked the most about this was that little orange second hand. I thought that kind of contrasted the gray very, very well. And also the dial as well looks kind of cool. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll do like close-ups of the watches and everything, but it's kind of like indexed, like it's kind of like bumpy, I guess you could say, right? So I thought that was really cool. And once again, this also charges by solar panel as well, and it was waterproof and a little more rugged than the other watch. The other one was a little more dressy, you know, and that was kind of why I picked this one up, because I wanted something a little bit more aggressive looking, more aggressive feel on the wrist, you know, and it looks very cool with the gray. I also bought that one too when I was like 12 or 13, I believe. So this here is a Pulsar watch, okay? My grandpa actually gifted me this. He won it in a raffle at work, and he doesn't really wear watches that often, so he gifted it to me. It needs a new battery, but I really like the design of this band here, right? This is more of like a Jubilee style band, and I think it looks really cool. You know, it's got the white dial, which is interesting. I don't really have a watch with a white dial, so that's pretty sweet. I also got this watch here, so it's kind of broken at the moment, but it's a Terrasite, and it's got a pretty sick complication. Now this one here is probably the cheapest out of all of them, right? This one I think was like $15, to be honest with you. So like, I don't really discriminate in terms of pricing, right? I kind of like the watch for the watch, right? And I kind of wanted to just wear this watch around as like almost like a daily, I guess, because you know, for $15 you can't really go wrong, and it looks really cool. And I actually get a lot of compliments on that watch, to be honest with you, but it's kind of out of commission right now with a missing link there, which is unfortunate. So now let's move to this other box. That was the first box, so let's move to this box here. All right, so to kick things off, it's not that exciting, but I wear it every single day, and there's actually a cool backstory. So this is an Apple Watch. Yeah, This is an Apple Watch. Now, why is the Apple Watch being grouped in with this collection? Well, this was actually a gift from my buddy Oli. One of my best friends in the whole world gifted me this watch, and I love it. I wear it almost every single day, you know, to track my workouts and sleep and all that, right? And honestly, I think that for any watch collector, I think you kind of have to have an Apple Watch or a Samsung Galaxy Watch in your collection, just because of how, you know, accurate it is with, you know, your heart rate, and it kind of tells you everything that you need to know about your body. And it's a little bit more than just a watch, right? Like, it's more of like a health device, you know what I mean? I guess you could say. So next up, we got this Seiko. This is now the newest one of the bunch. This one here I actually love. Seiko, yeah. The Seiko Presage Cocktail Time. So this one is a 38 millimeter case. So it's a little bit smaller on the wrist, but it kind of fits really nice for being smaller, you know? And it's got like a bumpy dial, so it looks really cool. It's got a little maroon style dial, and it's my first ever automatic watch. So this is the first watch that's actually automatic, and I gotta say, it looks great for being the first one, right? It's got a nice leather band, and look at this strap, right? Like, that's a really sick strap. Okay, that's cool. That's sick. Right now, a lot of the other watches in this series doesn't actually come with that strap. So honestly, it's nice to have that strap because it looks really cool. All right, next up on the list, and honestly, I gotta say that this is probably one of my favorite watches in this whole collection, and it's probably it's probably the second cheapest watch on this list, and it's a Casio Duro. And a Casio Duro is probably one of the nicest watches that you can get for the money, right? Now, how much was it? How much was this Casio? Well, it was about $50. Okay, so $50, and you get a pretty solid ass watch. I actually get a lot of compliments on this watch as well, right? Because it kind of resembles a Submariner, like in terms of like Rolex, like a Rolex Submariner. I mean, if you really look at it from a distance, you can't really tell. You know, it would be like a Submariner with an Oyster Flex band. It is a Casio Duro up close, and it cost me $50 instead of $50,000, right? So that's always a bonus. Next up on the list is the Bulova watch. So this one here is my signature watch. I wear this in all of my, you know, professional photos, and I try not to wear this one actually that often, just because of how fucking heavy this is. Like, you could break a window with this thing. Like, it is so heavy right now. Obviously, I'm showing you how heavy it is, but you actually can't really feel how heavy it is. It's fucking heavy, man. It's pretty heavy. It's probably about, I'd say about a quarter pound. Like, this thing is like absolutely heavy. Like, it's probably not that heavy, but it's heavy. Anyways, it's more of like a diver's watch, you know, and I bought this watch for myself when I graduated grade school, because I don't know, I thought it was a cool little thing, cool little token to remember grade school by. So I bought this, you know, this thing was about like $200-300, and it's a pretty solid watch. It's kind of held its value too on Chrono24, so if I want to sell it, I can. This watch coming up is the cheapest watch in this whole collection, and this watch probably has the most significance compared to the rest of these watches, right? It doesn't even really have a name. It honestly looks a little funky and weird, but this is it. So now you're probably like, oh my god, you actually wear that out of the house? Like, wow, you would actually wear that? No, I wouldn't wear this out of the house. You kidding me? You couldn't catch me dead in this fucking thing. But the thing is that this actually kind of kick-started my whole, like, actually, you know what? You know what's wild right now, guys? This is the first time I wore this watch on camera. Actually, not even, this is actually the first time I wore this watch, period. I've never worn this watch before, and it's kind of strange. I wouldn't necessarily wear it out of the house. Like, it looks really tacky, and I don't like diamonds in a watch. Like, it just looks weird. But why did I buy this? Okay, what's the story behind this? Well, this was actually $8. Okay, this watch was $8, and it took about, I want to say like 2.5 months to get to my house, because I ordered it off of AliExpress. And the reason I ordered this off of AliExpress is because I wanted to drop ship this watch. And honestly, I never ended up following through with it because of how shit the quality of this is. It took 2 months too, and I didn't want people waiting all that long, but this was the first item basically that I started drop shipping with, or I wanted to start drop shipping with. I actually ended up starting a jewelry store, to be honest with you, and I didn't sell this specific watch. I sold a bunch of other stuff that was like kind of related, so like nicer jewelry, nicer quality jewelry, and that was my first ever drop shipping store. Now let's talk about something that's in the works that I'm trying to get into my collection, and it has been so long and I've heard absolutely nothing about this watch, and I am just patiently waiting, and that is a Rolex Datejust 41mm with a Jubilee band and a blue motif dial, not the index one. I am trying to get my hands on a Rolex finally, and I have put away the funds for this watch, and I am now just waiting to hear back from the jeweler when they get them in. Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about waitlist and Rolex and all that shit. They basically don't really tell you when you're gonna get the watch. You kind of just have like a 24-hour window to get the notification that the watch came in and to go pick it up, right? So that's why I have the cash on hand, and I'm actually ready. As soon as I get that email, I'm going and buying the watch. So I'll pop up a picture of the watch right here, and I think it looks pretty sick. I mean, I do have a blue watch already, but I think that this one will just take it to the next level. You know, it's a nicer watch, nicer looking watch, and I think that the Jubilee band is a must. It's an absolute must. They did have one of the Rolexes, like that specific one, on an oyster steel band, but I didn't want any part of that because, you know, the oyster steel just doesn't really suit me. I kind of like the Jubilee, and I kind of have like an oyster steel looking style band with this one here, the Bulova. But you know, I kind of want the Jubilee on that one because it looks a little more premium, a little more rich. And yeah, I'm just waiting to get the call. And how much is that watch? That one's going to cost an arm and a leg, but I've had the money now for, I want to say like a year and a half. So it's gonna be about 14 grand, 15 grand for the watch. I'm just waiting on a goddamn call. Like, can you imagine I'm waiting to buy a $15,000 watch? What has the world come to? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there would ever be a wait list for that, right? But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. The guy, last time I actually contacted the guy, I was like, hey, have you heard anything about the watch? He's like, no, and I will let you know when I hear about the watch, so don't text me again or something. It was like something really aggressive. I was like, damn, all right. Fuck, whoa, my bad, bro. I'm putting you out for a fucking $15,000 watch. So I don't know if I'll buy it from that jeweler or another jeweler, but I should just probably suck it up and just say whatever and buy it, right? But that is basically it for my watch collection. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.